Last week, I watched a conference of Apostle Joshua Selman, and he was emphasizing on the fact that we all need to be valuable. And I got some few things, and I also, make up my notes, and I decided to share some few things about, being valuable. Now, a few months ago, I went to more like a restaurant, okay, in ShopRite. And this ShopRite is a very special ShopRite. It's one of the most special ShopRites in Nigeria, and this one was the one in Victoria Island. So I went there and I just went to observe the environment and get the serenity of the place and all of that. So when I got there, one of the attendants came to me and said, what do I want? I was like, I don't want anything, that she should just offer me water. And I requested that, how much is the water? Then she said the water is 2,500 naira. Meanwhile, I usually get water for 200 naira. Did you see that now? Then I understand what value is. Sometimes value is dependent on location. You might be in a place, you might have so much value, but where you are, your value is not well recognized. So I was like, what's the difference between getting water here and getting water outside that particular place? All right, why is water 2,500 naira? Then I understand the place of value. Location can determine value. So this brings me to this topic: value and being valuable. What does it mean to be valued, or what does it mean to be valuable? Being valuable simply means having skills, character, or solution that improves the lives of other people. Being valuable means that you have a skill, you have a character that is able to improve the life of others. That with the way you speak, the skill that you have a way of improving others. You have a way of making others comfortable. You have a way of making others look at you and they want to have you around because of your skill brings comfort to them. I like the way Apostle Joshua Selman define value. He defined value as a measure of your capacity to solve problems, to provide solutions, and to meet needs, and also to answer questions. He said it is the measure of your capacity. Now that means for everyone has a capacity, but our capacity is to some extent. Our capacity is to some measures. So it's not saying that the measure of your capacity to answer questions, to meet needs, to provide solution, that is value. So most times I sat down and I was thinking, what is my value? What is my value? And the whole teaching made me understand that value can be worked on. That means we can improve on our values. We can make our values better. How do we make our values better? How can I improve on my values? How can I be better with the value that I have? How can I work on the values that I have? And one important way I learned is by reading, be open to knowledge, study on that course, open your mind to various things, get skills that are valuable to you. That's how to improve your value. And invest in yourself. And one thing about value is value brings opportunity. A valuable person has a tendency of attracting opportunities. Opportunities does not come to somebody that is not doing anything. Opportunity comes to someone that has worked on himself. Opportunity comes to someone that has improved on himself. Opportunity comes to someone that has improved on himself. Now he says something very profound. He said God has placed a seed in each and every one of us, and what we need to do with that seed is we need to work upon that seed. We need to grow that seed. We need to improve that seed. We need to grow that seed. We need to come to a place of mastery. It's not just enough to have skill, but it's also important that we have mastery. It's also important that we develop ourselves in the place of mastery. Now he also says something. He says value must be needed and useful to command reward. Now everyone wants to be rewarded. Everyone needs reward. Everyone is looking for I want to be rewarded for this. In fact, some people's prayer is that they do little and they get reward for everything that they do. Yes, that is actually possible, but before one can attain that, you must be needed. That is where I was talking about location, because I got to that place and that water was being sold for 2,500 naira. And at that point now, there is a need for that water. That is what will make me buy that water for that amount. That's if I haven't have the money at that point. All right. So there is a need. Once there is a need for your value becomes rewarded. So most times you do not just stay in a place where your value is not needed. Try and move to a place where your value is also well appreciated. But there's something about value. This value is like a light. People will find you. People will make sure that they find you. They look for you wherever you are. Wherever you are. And please, I'm going to be rounding off on this note. Don't hide your value. Value should not be hidden. One important thing about value is value needs to be shared. You need to share your value with others. One thing is that you remember, value is a way at which you also improve other people's life. So if you do not share it, how are you going to improve the lives of other people? How are you going to improve other people's life? So value needs to be shared, not to be hidden. If you hide the value, you will not get the best out of life. You will not be rewarded. You will not be rewarded, and opportunities won't find you. So share your value. Let men see your value. Let your light so shine. I hope you've been able to get value from this. In case you're coming across my video for the very first time, my name is Solomon. I would like you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel as we learn and gain more value. See you in the next one.